on a national television platform on NDTV. But anyways, I mean, just for once, try to understand the kind of atrocities are being done by the ruling government on non-ruling BJP state. ED is supposed to be neutral, Vasudhaji, neutral agency. But I'm sorry to say they are working for BJP, which is clear today. And it's not Venezuela that you will send your brokers as ED and take away our political strategies. This is Bengal and she's Mamata Banerjee. And yes, no one is above the law. We all are law-abiding citizens. But with such mafia of Home Minister Amit Shah, we know the tactics control these mafia syndicates coming from Delhi. We know how to control it. See, again, this ED is just following the instruction of BJP. Why these raids are always during election? The intention is clear, to harass TMC, but they are daydreaming, Vasudhaji. IPAC is our IT office from where we plan our strategies, what they wanted to loot actually. Our strategies, our candidate name. Now BJP is saying, "Arey candidate name hai 2022 hai something something." Arey, so what? If the candidate name is there inside the IPAC office, that's our problem. That's not your problem. And why are you there to shield and protect ED? ED is a neutral agency. And if you ask me about Mamata Banerjee taking the files from the spot, then ladies and gentlemen, she did the right thing because we can't trust an agency whose credibility is zero and the conviction rate is 0.7. We won't allow the B team of BJP with such circus. Why such exercise only during election season? Basically, now BJP is scared seeing day before yesterday's Abhishek Banerjee's program at Itaha. They couldn't sleep all night. What is the success rate of ED? Again, I want to come there. So, this all form of atrocities and torture back coming from back door, we're not supposed to do like this. We have to follow constitution.
Okay, Tuhin Sinha, respond to that. Tuhin Sinha, this is a huge miscalculation by the BJP is what the TMC is saying, especially when it comes to Bengali sentiment. Something that Smita also talked about. This is a state with a lot of nuances. What is the BJP thinking?
Where is the question of miscalculation? When it's an agency which is doing its job, the case dates back to 2020. If there are new evidence, there is new incriminating information which has come out, do you expect the ED to stop working just because IPAC is affiliated with TMC? I mean, why should IPAC get that immunity just because it is the political arm of TMC? I think, Mamata Banerjee is fundamentally against the federal structure of this country. Not only has she shown her, disregard for all investigating agencies, the way she has been threatening the country on the implementation of Waqf Act. Now, imagine laws which are passed by Parliament. Please mind your words. Barge in like this.
No, she's not threatening. You cannot say like this.
No, you want me to produce the videos? Please. You want to show the videos? You want to show the videos?
Yes, he's threatening BJP.
Does he have a memory problem? He can visit the Mamata Banerjee's videos, the way she was threatening the country on the implementation of CAA, the way she was saying she will not allow. Please, you have to visit the videos. This is not the way. This is not the way an elected CM is supposed to conduct herself. Laws passed by both houses of Parliament, bills passed by both. No chief minister.
Let him finish his point.
No chief minister has any right to stall bills which have been passed by both houses of Parliament and have become a law. If she doesn't understand law, if she behaves like an illiterate person, that is not our problem. But she cannot stoke anarchy. She cannot stoke violence in Bengal. And Murshidabad violence can be directly attributed to her attitude. So I think it's about time Mamata Banerjee respects the federal structure of this country. She can't be demonizing investigating agencies.
Back with us. Yes, Tuhin, your point is taken. Jayanto Kushal, what are your big takeaways from this episode, sir? Because the left has been alleging that Mamata Banerjee gets into this fighter spirit only in certain cases, be it Abhishek Banerjee or Rajiv Kumar or IPAC, and does not do that for a lot of other people when it comes to, Jyotipriya Malik or several other people. But I have seen her being on the streets quite many times. Does this also invoke a different sentiment amongst Bengalis, or has that changed?
I think, Vasudha, I don't want to go into the details of this legality, the odd question, because I respect what Tuhinji is saying. I am not a party spokesman of TMC. But, I think the BJP strategy on West Bengal election, I think after this incident, it has become advantage Mamata, and Mamata in Bengal, Delhi and West Bengal, I think 1,500 kilometer it is away from Delhi capital. You know, this ED and BJP, this relationship Mamata Banerjee has established, because now BJP spokesmen are supporting whatever ED has done, and ED's statement, the official statement, there are two aspects regarding the coal scam, all these things. As a journalist, I respect that also, the non-attributing sources, ED claims type of stories. But on record, there's this thing, there is no mention of Pratik's involvement with coal scam, and Mamata also has not raised that issue. But you know, now through this movement, Mamata is getting the victim status. And if you survey, BJP can survey that whether ED is neutral or not. When BJP was in opposition, BJP used to call CBI Congress Bureau of Investigation. I remember I was a BJP beat correspondent in Delhi. And today, if you ask any person whether Mamata's anti-incumbency, all the SIR issue to Murshidabad, political polarization, Hindu, Muslim, all the Hindutva issue of BJP, now it has become a more anti-Delhi. Bengali has a typical radical Bengali anti-Delhi mindset. Whether it is good or bad, I don't know, because we have suffered also for that. I am not discussing the future of West Bengal. But for this strategy, I think it's a completely wrong strategy of BJP, that you are going to, because Partho Chatterjee, we have seen the election, now he is on bail. Rather, he is saying that I want to fight the election. Jyotipriya Malik, all these things, there should be a deadline, time limit. And this case, if ED, after election, if they do, what was the problem? And you are giving the publicity that now ED is going, so the coverage, media, as a media person, we are very much excited. The media's adrenaline is completely, we are happy.
Smita Prakash, would you agree with Jayanta Ghoshal's opinion that this may have been a wrong strategy by the BJP? Because, you know, I do feel that while we keep thinking about these things, in Delhi also we saw Kejriwal lose power. We saw Lalu Prasad Yadav's family also lose power in a very bad way. So sometimes the BJP is just trying to push this anti-corruption narrative of its image, and it's working in some states. Why will it not work in Bengal?
Well, Vasudha, I kind of agree and disagree with what Jayanto had to say. This whole thing about TMC accusing BJP of being anti-Bengali. Now, this is something that we saw in the last election also. And so far, the BJP has failed to communicate a cultural connect with Bengalis. It's not happened in the last election. Remains to be seen whether it can be done this season. This election. Where I disagree with Jayanto is about the victim status that Mamata is trying to portray herself as a victim of aggression from the center. I don't think that's going to click because she's tried that earlier. Now, after having 3 terms, you can't claim to be a victim, and I don't think that's going to click because she can't be the ferocious tiger as well as victim at the same time. So, you know, to say she's Agniputri and at the same time she's victim, how does that happen? So there I think there is a problem. As far as the central agencies' misuse is concerned, that is a rag, that is an alap which is going to keep coming all through, whether it is when the forces come, when the election commission will come, when everybody comes from Delhi to Bengal, and during the electoral process, she is going to talk about using this. So the BJP has still not responded to the attacks. Are they keeping their cards close to their chest? Because what you're seeing is a response on TV channels, but on the ground, there is still no vehement response as such from the leadership. There is from the local leadership, from the central leadership, not yet.
Not Venezuela. And this is not
That is a very important point. Tuhin Sinha, I do feel that this campaign, I do feel that this campaign also in some ways brings back again to the fore the centrality of Mamata Banerjee in the TMC campaign, because TMC is Mamata Banerjee is TMC, and the BJP still doesn't have a regional leader of her stature. Do you think that the BJP in an episode like this has also in some ways given an opportunity to Mamata Banerjee to bring back the spotlight on her, that, you know, in some ways another way of her reaching out to people and saying that yes, my party could have made mistakes, but it's about me. Tuhin Sinha.
You know what we are opposing over here is her violent obstructionism. She had every right to move the courts of law to prevent the ED investigation, but she had no business barging into the office of IPAC and stealing away certain documents which could have been very pivotal, which have been very crucial in the investigation. That's a limited point. Now, as far as playing victim is concerned, that's the only thing which Mamata Banerjee knows at this point of time, because her 15 years of rule in Bengal have been the worst, have been the most decadent phase for Bengal. So obviously she's going to try and play the victim once again. But the fact is, this time the anti-incumbency is so high that the same tricks which she has played in the past will not work. The law of diminishing returns is going to catch up with her, and she will know it very soon.
Right. Tausif Rahman, your response?
See, I don't know what Tuhin Sharma is all talking about. He's again going back, he's coming forward, but it doesn't make sense, because I don't know, he's talking like a judge.
But he's pointing to a very specific process that the Chief Minister should not behave.
So why is he not able to understand?
Like
Why is he not able to understand what I'm talking about?
So maybe I'm dumb, but I cannot be a judge of a Supreme Court or a High Court.
Why is he not able to
respond to you.
English?
Let me respond, sir. Let me give you a new story.
Tausif, yeah.
So you see, 2020 November, this coal scam or money laundering, whatever it took place. You know, IPAC was under Prashant Kishore. I mean, he left IPAC during 2021, and all this took place 6 years back. So what is it? Is there any setting with Prashant Kishore, or did he help BJP during Bihar election? Because the scenario is very clean. Whoever goes against BJP, the B team, ED, IT, or what central agency will start knocking your door. And end of the day, if something happens as per BJP, go to the court. We did that. I mean, ED, TMC, Pratik Jain, Bengal police, they all have gone to the court, and now let's wait and watch. So it is as simple as that. And if you don't understand my English, and if you don't understand if I'm making sense or not, so if you have any problem with Mamata Banerjee, I do understand. You are not going to win. And let me take it very clearly. Let me explain you very clearly. You want to fight on the ground. You want to fight inside the court. You want to fight up in the sky. We will hammer you 360-degree, and you won't be able to do anything, because the vote and the blessing of the people is with Trinamool Congress. Take it from me, Mr.
TMC, Vasudha, the TMC representative can do better than this.
Quickly respond to that before I take closing remarks from our analyst.
I seriously think the TMC representative can do better than this. The case may date back to 2020, but if there is emergence
will you go to Prashant Kishore?
If there is fresh evidence emerging,
will you go with that fresh evidence to Prashant Kishore as well?
The law enforcing agencies, the investigation agencies
Sir, your
agencies
ED
are
team
under
should
no
visit Prashant
obligation.
Kishore office.
They are under no
Patna, Bihar.
obligation. They are under no obligation to make you happy just because IPAC is your entity. It's your affiliate
entity. Of course,
IPAC is our entity. There is emergence of new entity. The law will take its own course.
You need to confirm yourself whether IPAC is a private company or working with TMC.
Street veto will not work in Turkman Gate. It will not work on the streets of Bengal, and you will see it in May this year.
Okay, Jayanta Ghoshal, your closing remarks, sir. How do you expect this episode to sort of end in the coming days? What else is expected to be unraveled?
You see, in this political, West Bengal is always, every election, in the last assembly election, in the last Lok Sabha election, it is nothing new for a onlooker of West Bengal politics. But the latest, the possibility of president rule in West Bengal after this, now it has become a major campaign issue. And now West Bengal BJP is demanding that president rule should be imposed. And if Mamata Banerjee has done illegal things, then you can take action. You can go for 356. you can go for major action. But the public perception, again, will be more aggressive. So I am expecting lot of more tutu meh in this coming election. And this is very unfortunate because the anti-incumbency, if it is strong, one BJP leader, I cannot take the name as a journalist, he was telling me that the best thing to remain silent, the people can vote against Mamata. What the BJP is doing is a more aggressive way through ED, through EC. Maybe the Bengali Bhadralok were ready to vote against Mamata. Now they have become anti-Delhi for this style of campaign, style of functioning. Because, when the anti-incumbency, if it is there, when CPM, I remember, we never expected that CPM is going. But suddenly we have seen that when TMC came to power, we never expected that election, because 30 years, the Bengalis are very bad consumer. If we buy a shoe from Bata, I think there are a lot more repair shops in Bengal than Delhi, because Delhi is more throwaway society.
Right.
So consumerism
closing remarks
point
from you.
of view,
Yeah, very important points. Smita Prakash, closing
again,
remarks from you, ma'am.
Because BJP has become more anti-Bengali perception.
I think Jayanto is quite right. The quirky Bhadralok that he talks about, they have their mood swings, and we can't depend on electoral results according to the quirks of the Bhadralok, I think. But it will be a very interesting election, for certain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this broadcast. An investigation has turned into an all-out political war in poll-bound West Bengal, a case that is going to also escalate nationally and in some ways bring the attention to accountability and also clash of not just contest, political contest, but also narratives. With that, it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 70, India's only ultra-thin phone with 3x50 MP cameras. Grab Motorola Edge 70 today.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
From the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break.
live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rug on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contest, the electric energy. Now, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am travels to Hyderabad, a day crafted for an unmatched experience. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 10th January 2026, Boulders Hills Golf and Country Club.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards.
Welcome back. It was supposed to be a battle of movies, but both these movies, Parasakti and Jananayakan, are at very different places now. Parasakti is all set to release tomorrow. A grand release for this movie that is being seen as completely backed by the DMK, something that also speaks the political language that DMK speaks and will be used by the DMK because it's all centered around anti-Hindi agitations. One of the reasons why the DMK was even founded in the first place, and also Jananayakan faces one legal hurdle after the other. Now, what we understand is that Vijay is expected to speak soon is what we understand. TVK has not officially reacted to this. Vijay has not spoken on this. But remember that Madras High Court actually gave a go-ahead to this movie in the morning, but then CBFC challenged it, and now till the 21st of January, there is nothing that is expected that's in favor of this movie, with the CBFC taking a very strong position against Vijay's Jananayakan. Veera Raghav is here with me. Veera, processes aside, this is politics at play. What do you think really happened? Take us through everything that has happened in the last 1 week.
Well, let's forget the 1 week. I think the last 10 hours, that's from this morning onwards, it was a huge victory in the morning. Then the court for Jananayakan was stinging order from a single judge of the Madras High Court, stayed by the Chief Justice, posted the matter to the 21st. So long and short of it, Jananayakan not releasing now. You don't know when it's going to release. Vijay has a summons to go and appear before the CBI on the 12th of January. Multiple political connotations from all this. Remember, this is also not just about politics. There is a huge element of freedom of speech and expression under threat argument that's been made. It's been made by the DMK now. It was made by the Congress earlier yesterday. TVK, of course, silent, but I believe that Vijay will make a comment eventually. They feel that they don't need to speak because the people are speaking and the narrative is already getting set. So I don't know how this is going to play out eventually, but the narrative of Vijay under being targeted is gaining strength and gaining enormous strength, and being targeted by the center and the BJP is the narrative that's building up, and that's the perception that's building up, because the earlier perception was that he was being targeted by the DMK. And today, given this whole issue, MK Stalin has come out and spoken out openly. Manikam Tagore responding to Stalin's tweet saying, "Super brother, this is exactly what we have been saying, and your party's IT wing said we have to leave the alliance. Let's stand up for freedom of speech." So multiple reactions, Vasudha, there.
Veera, do you finally see this also in some ways bringing the Congress and the TVK together?
I think the Congress is maybe fishing in troubled waters. I think DMK too tested an ally. Sections within the Congress pushing the DMK to get 40 seats and a share of power. Of course, share of power will depend after the numbers come out. I think this is more bargaining by the Congress. Congress can't vacate the space. But let's see all sides.
But Veera, this impression of the centre being high-handed, I'm saying impression because that's what a lot of people are also blaming the centre for, because today the CBFC challenging the single bench order was also quite unexpected. The impression of the BJP or the centre being high-handed, how do you expect that to play out politically? Do you expect that of being of providing some disadvantage to the AIDMK-BJP alliance, or do you think that people have the intelligence to define what is the centre and what is CBFC?
Well, look, no, I think the overall perception, no one really knows. CBFC is seen as an arm of the centre, and the BJP as a sense. It is an independent body ultimately, but the way it's targeted in a political narrative, out of the question. Manikam Tagore took the lead yesterday in terms of saying that, look, the centre is attacking using CBFC. Today, MK Stalin has virtually endorsed that, but not taken Jananayagan's name around specifically. Manikam Tagore responding to that, and if we can play those tweets, and that's a bit of breaking news that they'll play up, saying, look, this is exactly what we are saying. Don't think that we're going ahead from the alliance. So I think in a nuanced political conversation, there may be multiple connotations that will come out. But in the mass public sentiment and amongst the TVK fans, there is an enormous emotion for the film. A Pongal release is not a small thing, Vasudha. It's an extraordinary festival. As you were there with me at the Rohini Theatre earlier, and you heard that fan turn around and say that for us, no Pongal. The day Jananayagan releases is Pongal. That's the sentiment amongst Vijay fans. The fact that a DMK-backed movie is releasing and a Vijay movie is not releasing, multiple connotations. What it'll mean politically, electorally, I don't know, but the political narrative is getting crystallized.
But in some ways, this has also set the stage for politics to spike in the coming months. Let's take a look at some reactions.
Censor board has been added to the already existing political hitmen of the BJP, like the ED, CBI, the Election Commission. The political drama by the BJP by using censor board as a weapon in Tamil Nadu is being very well understood by the people of Tamil Nadu. These tactics of the BJP will not go down well within Tamil Nadu.
We are also joined by Pulla Rao, who's a political analyst and an author. We are also joined by Kasturi Shankar, who's an analyst and also an actor. Thank you, both of you, for being part of this broadcast. Kasturi, to you first. How do you look at Parasakti getting that green signal and Jananayakan being held? What does this mean for people of Tamil Nadu? Like Veera was pointing out, everyone was looking forward to these movies. What is the sentiment on ground?
As a first day, first show fan of Vijay myself, I'm as disappointed as probably all his fans are, because at the end of the day, politics can be politics, but you don't bring that into the film arena. The movie, we were all looking forward to the movie being released and having a complete Pongal celebration. I'm not planning to watch Parasakti. I was totally looking forward to Jananayakan being Vijay's swan song, as it will. I think from a fan point of view, we have nothing. It's Jananayakan means the Lord of the People, kind of a pun on democracy. It's very undemocratic to have a monopoly in the movie theaters. There's just one we're going to be releasing tomorrow. Maybe Baba Atyare coming for the 14th. So, there's a solo run for Parashakti, which is not good for the movie industry as a whole, number one. And politically speaking, I'm affiliated to the BJP. I think it's a terrible setback for the BJP because the Congress jumped on the BJP bashing bandwagon yesterday and created a conspiracy theory. Whether it has any semblance to the truth is another issue. But it has gained a lot of traction. And today the DMK itself caught on to the act and said, hey, this theory is working, so let's go with it. We've got our chance to bash the BJP. Now Vijay fans as well as TVK.
That's a very important point, Kasturi. Veera Kasturi is saying that as a fan, she's disappointed even though she supports the BJP. I am just curious to know why is Vijay or the TVK, why is Vijay not responding to this? Because, he is an aspiring chief minister. You would expect him to be angry, aggressive. Why is he not speaking against this, what he calls injustice against him?
He's an aspiring chief minister, Vasudha, but he's already a superstar. Superstars don't speak when you want them to speak. They speak when they want to speak and you listen to it. This is the star attitude. And, while many believe that the fact that the TVK is silent shows that they don't know how to react to a situation, I think it's a calibrated strategic approach. Let the coach play. We don't want to fuel the fire. We're not going to be the whiners out here. You do what you want. We'll stand up here. These are grassroots silent narratives that builds up. Let everybody else speak. Let them all come after me. I'm not going to go and speak to them. I'll go to the courts and I'll expose the system before the courts. I think that's the argument. You will, though, expect Vijay and the TVK to speak out. I think it will be more like an apology to fans saying that, look, we're really sad that we can't release the movie, but don't worry about it. It will come back. We'll come back with full force, because most people believe that when the movie hits, if it was 10x now, it will be 100x because of all this.
Okay, so there could be some thinking behind that as well, but I would see that probably this is an apolitical move to not really respond aggressively. But you're right, superstars don't speak when we want them to speak.
But an aspiring chief minister must speak. You're also right about the fact that sometimes he needs to turn from being a star to a politician, and his party also should learn to come out and take the bull by its horns on issues like this.
The criticism of Vijay being quite scripted sometimes also, looks true, because, this is the time when he should be speaking up, not just for his fans, but for himself, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's time to speak, but then the point is that he's gone to court. He's challenging the matter. You know better what's happening with the BJP, and I think maybe it's part of all calibrated. See, the one thing is that there was a sense that the BJP was warming up to the TVK after the stampede when the DMK was attacking it. There was a sense that Vijay was going soft on the BJP but going hard on the DMK after the stampede. Not as hard as he was on the BJP before the stampede. The question is that this changes that dynamic. Does this, if Vijay softens up to the BJP, he'll be seen as someone buckling to pressure. So he will be forced to have to take a stand. I don't know what the calculus in all this is, if there is a calculus and if there is a political calculation. But whatever it is, it seems like it's going to favor Vijay and bolster him.
Okay. Mr. Pullarao, you have followed Dravidian politics very closely. What kind of impact do you see the release or the non-release or the delayed release of Jananayakan having on Tamil Nadu elections 2026? Also, in the backdrop of Parasakti releasing tomorrow, and Parasakti, we are told, is a very political movie, something that looks at the beginning of DMK and also looks at invoking Tamil sentiment.
There's a lot of calculus or calculations, to use Vijay's words. The superstar Vijay is being advised by a super lawyer. I think you have to take that into your calculus. And silence is the best weapon now. Silence is the best answer. Why should he talk when the censor board is saying it's reviewing it? There's a loaded answer in that. And he's still got time, 2-3 days. Everything, all the cuts they want, he can do it. I'm only saying that his silence is not from anything else, but terrific calculation. Keep quiet, don't muddy the waters. Courts are looking into it. And CBSE, there's no stay on the Central Board of Film Certification from giving the go-ahead or whatever. So he's smart to keep quiet in this whole thing. And as you know, in Tamil Nadu, films and politics, there's no wall between it. Both are equally at home with each other. What is real? What is fiction? What is the truth? Nobody knows. It goes on till something comes out and then it moves on. This has become more interesting than a film itself for political impact and the last-minute tensions. Therefore, the courts are on one side, the film certification board, the political parties, and Vijay is here. He's being well advised. I'm talking objectively, very well advised as far as this issue is concerned. That silence is the best answer. Keep quiet. Otherwise, you'll only muddy the waters. Maybe if it does. And as of now, what the High Court has said, what the other courts have said, what the board has said, there's no thing that they have refused it. Will they do it fast? Will they fast track it? That depends. And also, Stalin has come out with a very good statement, and that
So
will
those
also
are the different
help
scenarios,
Vijay.
Mr. Rao, but we don't
And
know
Vijay
what
keeps
really is going to
silence and
happen
doesn't
because
act.
everyone has to wait till 21st of January, which is when the hearing is going to be held. Kasturi Shankar, moving away from Jananayakan, what kind of impact do you think Parasakti is likely to have on people of Tamil Nadu? Because like Veera was pointing out, there's going to be complete free flow for Parasakti during Pongal weekend. Do you really think that DMK will optimize, capitalize on this sentiment? How will it really benefit the DMK?
Sure, people who are already sensitive and sympathetic to DMK causes, and perhaps a small portion of first-time voters who come from DMK backgrounds would find this movie favorable to their existing thoughts. But I don't think, in general, movies, even though they are well crafted, will have electoral ramifications. I don't think that. I don't think that's happening. I mean, that era is gone with MGF. Even Vijay was not able to repeat or replicate that feat. So, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Parasakti doesn't have any hit songs so far as I know. We don't have anything playing on
Okay,
loop.
that's an important line, Kasturi, to end the show on, Veera. Kasturi saying that, movies don't really have the power to define or change public sentiment now. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's not the only thing that can define public sentiment, but definitely it has an impact. And cinema has an enormous impact on politics, at least in Tamil Nadu, especially in a context that's been set already. But let's see what happens. I hope to see Parasakti with you tomorrow. Absolutely. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. And this is, we're all speaking to a generation that's watching and growing up on reels. How much of impact will all of this have on...
but nothing that this Parasakti can do can match what Vodinal, Varke in LARK, Vodinal, the 1952 Shivaji classic. I don't think that can be matched. But let's see what this Parasakti does.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Kasturi, and thank you, Dr. Rao, for speaking to us. It's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national
Good evening and welcome. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. Tonight, two global flashpoints that could reshape geopolitics. First, Iran, where there's growing unrest and rising dissent, which is fueling a question the world is watching closely. Is the country on the brink of a new revolution, or will the regime tighten its grip once again? The stakes couldn't be higher with Trump's constant threats, and it is not just for Iran but for the entire Middle East. And then Trump's renewed obsession with Greenland. What many say sounds bizarre carries serious strategic weight, with the Arctic fast becoming the next geopolitical battleground. Tonight we bring you big exclusives. The first official reactions from Greenland and Denmark. We talk to those in the Danish security setup who actually talk about what Denmark might do from a policy standpoint if they are attacked. But first, let's focus on the situation in Iran. Could this be another revolution? Well, let's bring you a timeline of these protests. It started just a few days back on the 28th of December. Iran's rial, their currency, crashed to a record low of about 1.45 million per US dollar, sparking immediate economic fury as merchants in Tehran's Al-Aden and Charso markets shut down their shops. Then on the 29th of the month, there were strikes which rapidly expanded to Tehran's iconic Grand Bazaar. There was also a powerful viral video of a lone protester defiantly standing before riot police and motorbikes. He was dubbed Tehran's Tank Man. He spread online the protests, images of the Tank Man. Demonstrations erupted to places like Hamadan and Zanjan. Then on the 30th, students from major universities ended up joining the protests, amplifying calls for change, with security forces opening fire on the protesters as well in Hamadan amidst escalating clashes. On the last day of 2025, the 31st, the government imposed widespread business shutdowns across the country, in fact in 21 provinces, in a bid to contain the unrest. The first reported fatalities, were in fact identified at this stage. On the 1st of the month, workers at Tehran's very critical vegetable market joined the strikes. That resulted in further paralyzing daily commerce. Then the US got involved, with President Trump on the 3rd issuing a stark warning of potential American intervention if the regime escalates violence against demonstrators. There was also a severe 35% drop in internet traffic signals. At that stage, it's dropped further now. These were deliberate government outages to disrupt the coordination of the protests. On the 6th, exiled Kurdish political groups called for a nationwide general strike that added momentum. And between the 8th and 9th of this month, the exiled Crown Prince Raza Pahlavi urged Iranians to launch nationwide protests which have galvanized crowds. Authorities have also imposed a full nationwide internet blackout as demonstrations flared up intensely all across Iran. But let's now bring you our guests. I'm joined by Haleh Blake, a British-Iranian activist and co-founder of United for Masa. Let's bring up our guests. We're also joined by James Bowden and Dr. James Dorsey. Thank you all very much for being with us. Haleh, thank you very much for joining us on the program. You know, there's a complete news vacuum. We don't really know what's happening in Iran beyond just a glimpse of information that we're getting primarily out of Tehran. How widespread are the protests to the best of your understanding?
The scenes we saw last night were incredibly widespread. Seas of people on the streets in all 31 provinces. The images are outstanding, and it really shows the support of the people of the Crown Prince's call for action. There is also another one arranged for this evening. What we saw was a historical day of protest. This was much larger than any other demonstration we have ever seen in the past 46 years. And of course, within an hour of those demonstrations, we saw the internet shutdown, which resulted in the information being entirely censored to the outside media. And as you know, there is no freedom of journalism inside Iran. So we rely on protesters, family and friends to provide us with accounts on the ground. And since last night, we haven't had that. But what we did have before the internet was shut off, that this was beyond everything anyone remembers in their living history in the past 46 years. And that in itself is making history today.
Haleh, we've seen massive protests by women in Iran in the last couple of years. Those were eventually shut down, but the sense of anger and seething which exists in Iran never really went away. Are women a key part of the protests across the country now?
Of course they are. Women have been at the forefront and carrying on civil disobedience on the streets and within the country every day. But this anger is nationwide across all ages, gender, and also against all segments of the society. As you can see here, we have women, elderly women going out to protest. We saw images of people in wheelchair outside protesting last night, and in itself is showing the anger and discontent of the entire population in one go. And people have become brave to come out. They're overcoming the fear of the regime. We've had practices in the past during women life freedom movement, but we're seeing the anger is now taking over, and they're further intensified in their nature, and therefore they want. You may see images of people taking over governmental buildings. We were not at that stage previously, and as you can see the images, they're just some incredible images of people on the streets being beaten up, shot at, and killed.
James Bowden, in your opinion, is this the beginning of the end of the Khamenei regime?
Oh, that's a very good question. I'm not 100% sure. I do think that we are in a petite insurrection, if not a full insurrection. Actually, just in the last couple of hours, the Iranian government released news updates that several police officers, as well as security personnel, had been killed in the protests. And this also follows photos loaded up onto social media of a police officer who was reportedly burned on the streets. So we are definitely witnessing an incredible moment here where I think that the Iranian state is being really challenged to its greatest degree at this time. If this is not the end, it is very close to it. I think next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be the determining factor.
What would be the determining factor?
Well, the determining factor would be a couple of events that we need to see. Number one, we've seen some of the Kurdish groups begin to announce that they want to pull away and begin their independence movements again. Also, Sistun Baluch groups have not announced anything yet, but they are probably getting primed to move away. But another one will be, I think, even more of these deaths. I think there will be a critical mass of police stations and government buildings that are burned. The number one key will be any moves by the Iranian regime. As soon as we start hearing and seeing more stories in the media about where Khamenei will go after this crisis, that's the signal to say, all right, it's collapsing.
Okay. Dr. James Rossi, I'm just trying to understand what sort of support does Prince Raza Pahlavi really enjoy in Iran? Is he strong enough to be the big unifier?
Before I answer your question, let me just make one remark about to what degree this poses a challenge to the regime. There's no doubt that this is one of the most serious challenges that the regime has faced. There's also no doubt that there is widespread anger, particularly with the rapidly and radically deteriorating economic situation. However, experience with popular revolts shows that revolts succeed when you start to see splits within the regime, particularly within the military forces. If you think back of the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran, part of what happened there was a split in the military. We're seeing no indications of that. I think, in fact, in terms of the popularity of the Shah, sure, there are segments of society that support the Shah. However, you've seen, I saw on the screen that you showed slogans in favor of the Shah. There are also slogans that say no Khamenei and no Shah, and we don't really know what support bases there are. Indications over time in the past have been that the Shah's support is not a majority.
Right. Is he potentially still, though, Dr. Dorsey, the primary unifier, should there be one?
I personally doubt it. I think what you're going to see is coming out of Iran. There are very different perceptions between much of the Iranian diaspora and Iranians themselves, both of which have had very different experiences since the 1979 revolution.
Yeah. Hale, who's the leader of the revolt? I see it to be a public outpouring of anger for all the reasons that we've identified. But is it faceless in a sense at this stage?
No, we have a very clear leader, and the chants of pro-Pahlavi chants have been across all of the locations, across all sides, even the most conservative religious cities such as Mashhad and Qazvin. You can see that across all of those. So this is definitely very much has a face. And in terms of defection, the Crown Prince did actually launch a defection campaign back in the summer, and over tens of thousands of defections has already been registered with him, and they are within active communication. This is very much on we have a leader, it's very clear, to take us to a democratic Iran, get us to ballot boxes, and that is what we want, a very secular, democratic Iran in the future.
James Bowden, I think Dr. Dorsey makes an important point when he says that we haven't really seen cracks in the military. I have seen a couple of accounts of soldiers in areas deciding not to take on the crowds, moving away from their posts and the like. Is that something that you're getting as well? In a sense, defections?
Well, I have not heard that report, but that is very important. And any government that starts to have rot at that lower level of soldiers not wanting to respond to government orders to suppress a riot, then you are on your way to government collapse. We've seen this repeatedly in world history, where when governments really do start to fall apart, it generally, as he said, it does creep up from the military. But that is, I think, based on a realization that their efforts are not succeeding and, in fact, are resulting in just harder and more steadfast resistance.
Dr. Dorsey, let's talk about Donald Trump, his threats. In terms of, and what he said is that if there are attacks, mass attacks on the Iranian people, then America would respond. Could that be, the way this ends up going, that the size and scope and the scale of the protests are influenced directly with how America impacts what's happening on the ground?
I think what you're seeing at the moment is that Donald Trump's threats of intervention or penalizing the regime militarily if there is mass killing of protesters is in some ways allowing the regime to blame all of this on foreign forces. That's, I think, one aspect of this. The other aspect of this is, what does that mean if Trump is going to make the Iranians pay hell and use his military force to do so? What I think you're not going to see is an invasion of Tehran to protect the protesters. You probably would see strikes against military facilities outside of areas where the protesters are on the streets. And whether that's going to really persuade the Iranian regime to change track, I think is questionable.
Ahale, in terms of the protesters and the groundswell in Iran, how do they see Donald Trump presently?
I think his strong tweets and messaging out to the Iranians really made them braver to really step out. They felt that they had the backing of the President of the United States. And they're really relying on his leadership they're seeing as a strength and hope to the Iranians, and something as little as, you know, social media posts having that sort of effect in itself is massive. Well, in terms of boots on the ground, we don't really want an intervention as Iranians. We are able to get this over the line. We just need the West to stop negotiating with the regime. We need the West and America to take a really strong leadership, which we can see from President Trump. And we really need them to delegitimize the regime and insert pressure on their IRGC funding. And so we really need the West to take a really strong stance there, and also to pressure them and to stop them from bringing human resources from other countries for the crackdowns. I think those are the big asks from the Iranian community.
James Bowden, ultimately it's the economy which is really hurting. The fact that you've had shops shut, markets shut, the currency collapsing entirely, inflation shooting up. Is that likely to be perhaps the biggest trigger for these protesters beyond any of the larger political reasons that we've sort of discussed on this program?
Oh, absolutely. You know, bear in mind that these protests, well, there have been protests and there have been strikes going on in Iran for over the last year. Daily, I monitor everything as much as possible that comes out of the region, and including Iran. And I see constant oil workers, teachers, doctors, unions striking. They have been protesting and calling for changes for a long time. Then in early December, and I think what was the real catalyst of this was the U.S. seized the oil tanker, I believe called the Skipper, on December 10th. That was sanctioned Iranian oil. Then on the 23rd, we heard that either it was Iran or Iraq that was stopping to move gas from Iran to Iraq. That also did further damage. And so, yeah, I mean, these are people who are struggling. They want water, they want electricity, they need basic human necessities, and they're not getting it from the government. And the government hasn't been getting the message that they need this. They have been investing heavily in their military and infrastructure on that end and ignoring the Iranian people. So yes, this is not ideological. This is not a, hey, let's have freedom or a hijab issue. This is, I want to live and be able to live right.
Ahale, as somebody who's spoken about the need for genuine freedom in Iran, could you give us examples of how your own family back in Iran has been repressed, how you've sort of suffered as a result of that, how there continues to be turmoil in a sense, there are no real freedoms on the one hand, and on the other hand, Iran is, contrary to how it's reported, is fairly advanced, very decent healthcare, very decent infrastructure, at one level reasonably prosperous. So, there are two Irans that you're talking about. One where there's the repression that people suffer from, and one, several aspects of the economy which are still fairly progressive.
I think the repression, we talked about it in 2022 and 2023 in detail about, women's rights, minority rights. and all of that. But what is worth mentioning here is that it's a 90 million highly educated population, and despite having 10 times resources per capita, 70% of the Iranian population actually live under the line of poverty. There are a large portion of that 70% are unable to meet some of their basic needs. I mean, we have heard of cases where people have been unable to buy meat for at least a year. For a rich country such as Iran, that is entirely not acceptable. And the way people see this is that all of the funds and the income of Iran is injected, is pushed out to the proxies. And that's where you have seen one of the chances. People say no to Gaza, no to Lebanon, I give my life to Iran. That comes from that place of so many unable to live, knowing how much resources is available and should be within the Iranians. They also know that this regime will never going to change, never going to adjust to the people's demands. It doesn't matter what type of president we have, selected president we have, the outcome continues to be the same. This is an authoritarian regime that has been occupying Iran for 46 years and have used the same tricks to negotiate with the West, and that the people are not accepting it anymore. There's no kind of reform idea that people are willing to even entertain. So that's why you can see that people completely look to their past and how the infrastructure of now was actually built back 46 years ago, and this regime is not able to keep up with some of their even maintaining of those infrastructures, such as a very simple bridge that was made by Reza Shah. So this is why the Iranians are very nostalgic to their past, and they do not trust anybody else but Reza Pahlavi to take them out with that transition to ballot boxes. So, I mean, again, for a rich country like Iran, peace should be prosperous, such as the other Persian Gulf countries we see across the south of Iran.
Well, hopefully, whatever takes place is, there isn't a bloodbath on the ground, that these protests do result in fundamental change on the ground. The freedoms you speak about actually come back. But for the moment, let's hope that the law and order situation, by which I mean there is no violence on the ground, remains the priority. We leave it over there. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to take a short break. Coming up after that, we're going to be moving to the other global flashpoint, potentially, Greenland. We've got some very important interviews, one by, in fact, two MPs, one from Greenland, one from Denmark, including the first very direct statements on what Denmark might be forced to do if there is American military action on the ground in Greenland. It's coming up next.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 70, India's only ultra-thin phone with 3x50 MP cameras. Grab Motorola Edge 70 today.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking, Who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body? And what would it mean for Mumbaikars? BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contest, the electric energy. Now, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am travels to Hyderabad, a day crafted for an unmatched experience. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 10th January 2026, Boulders Hills Golf and Country Club.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Master Stroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Pulling us
Other
into
opposition
this
parties.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arur, NDTV.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsaan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contact.
Well, with the situation in Greenland becoming perhaps more unpredictable by the day, I'm joined by Rasmus Jarlov, Conservative Member of Parliament and Denmark's Chairperson of Defence Committee. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. There is no clear sense that most people are getting about where this is all headed. Yesterday, we heard statements that Denmark would respond if there was any American military presence in Greenland that you were uncomfortable with. Is that right?
Yes, thank you for taking interest in this in India as well. We appreciate that very much. Of course, in the situation that there was an American attack on Greenland, of course, we would have to defend it. We understand full well that it would be a very tough fight, and we would not be able to stop the Americans by military means. But we also want to make clear, of course, that it's not acceptable to attack us militarily, and it would lead to the absurd situation and disastrous situation of a war between two NATO countries, which would be completely devastating and very, very stupid and unnecessary.
Mr. Yalov, you make an important point. Denmark would respond militarily, come what may, if there is American military aggression in Greenland. Is that right?
I really don't like to talk a lot about that scenario because that can sound like we're threatening the Americans and we're trying to be tough. We're not. We understand we're a small power, very, very small power compared to the Americans. So it's not like we're trying to intimidate the Americans, scare them. But if theoretically that would be a war between two NATO countries, and of course that would lead to shots being fired and people be killed, and I would have to go to funerals. I would have to look at people who had been gunned down by Americans for absolutely no reason, and that would be a tragedy that's just really hard to understand, and a very, very unnecessary one, because the Americans already have access to Greenland. We already have a defense agreement that allows them access. And they can do mining in Greenland as well if that's what they want. So there's absolutely no need for this. And we really hope we can get it back on track, that it doesn't escalate.
Mr. Yalov, the other point, of course, is that America wants to buy Greenland. Is the sovereignty, the identity of Greenland up for sale?
It is not up for sale. We can do a lot of other things for the Americans. And we have never objected to an American presence. That's why we have that defense agreement that allows them to have military bases and a military presence as much as they want. So the Americans definitely do not need to annex Greenland for security purposes, because they already have access to it. But we can't sell 57,000 Danish citizens to become Americans. They don't want to, and they have made that extremely clear. And Denmark has made it extremely clear that we can't sell Greenland. It's not for sale, and it's not a matter of a price, so it doesn't matter what type of money is being offered, and it is also regardless of what pressure is put on us. We simply can't do that. And from there, it is up to the Americans how much they're going to escalate the situation. We hope they don't. We hope it becomes constructive, and they will articulate to us what needs that they have. The problem we have is that since they already have full access to Greenland, it's hard for us to see what more we could do for them. But they have to talk to us. They have to let us know what needs they have, and then we can have a constructive dialogue. But nothing will be achieved by military threats or threats of annexation by other means. That couldn't be achieved by just calling us.
Mr. Yalov, how united are people in Greenland? Are there is there any group which is actually saying, no, let's talk to the Americans, or let us use this opportunity to state the need for Greenland's sovereignty? Do you believe that there are those elements as well? Is that a concern?
There are different approaches to how much you should talk to the Americans. But there's complete agreement that the Greenlanders do not want to become part of the United States. There was an election last year, and in the local Greenlandic parliament, where there's 31 members, there wasn't a single one elected that wants to join the United States. And there was a poll, a very large poll made last year, that showed that only 6% of people in Greenland would like to leave Denmark to become part of the United States. So although many Greenlanders do dream about becoming independent, there's hardly anyone that wants to join the United States. So we're trying to, Denmark is not preventing Greenland from becoming independent. They're part of Denmark because they have not requested independence. They've had the option of leaving for 17 years, so they could have done that if they wanted. They've not requested it. They've not started the process. And we're available for Greenland to help them develop as long as they're part of Denmark. We're assisting them in developing the country, the direction that they want. But we're also protecting them right now from being taken over by the Americans, because that's something that they don't want. And the ties between Denmark and Greenland are quite close. They speak Danish. They're Danish citizens. They have members of our parliament here in Copenhagen, where I am right now. And a quarter of all Greenlanders live in Denmark. Most of them have spent time in Denmark during their life. They've been educated here and so on. The ties are very, very close. So it's very few Greenlanders that completely want to cut the ties to Denmark. But they do want more autonomy, and they're working towards that. They're gradually building up their society, educating themselves, becoming more and more capable of taking over roles in society. But for now, the ties with Denmark are crucial to Greenland, and they don't want to cut those ties.
Would this spell the end of NATO if America were to do anything? I'm not just talking about militarily, but otherwise, if they were to force the issue one way or the other, would that spell the end of NATO?
It could well do that. I mean, certainly a military attack would be the end of NATO, because then Denmark would have to invoke the Article 5 in NATO, which is the oath that countries have to come and protect us. And then the Americans and all other countries would be obliged to come and help Denmark, protect Denmark against the United States. Of course, the Americans would veto that, and then NATO would be dead. But other means are also unacceptable. I don't think any country could or should accept a targeted campaign from a foreign power to dismantle the country. And that's really what we're talking about. Americans are working actively to try to dismantle the Kingdom of Denmark. I mean, would India accept that a foreign power went to a province in India, tried to hook up with an independence movement, tried to bribe them into leaving India? I don't think any country would accept such an approach. Denmark is not standing in the way of the Greenlanders becoming independent, not at all. We are we're just there because they haven't asked us not to be there. And we've been there for 600 years. But it seems very, very unacceptable that the Americans are working so actively to sort of trying to dismantle our kingdom. Like if China went to Hawaii, tried to bribe people there into leaving the United States to become part of China, I think they would object quite aggressively against that.
Mr. Yadav, very, very strong views, but very important ones. It's a story that's impacting, global dynamics around the world. Thank you so much for sharing the perspective of Denmark in this very important story. Thank you very much indeed. I'm joined by Kuno Fenker, a Greenland MP. Mr. Fenker, thanks very much for being with us. Yesterday, there were some reports which suggested that if there was some sort of an American military presence in Greenland, which you disagreed with, the Danish government would react. Is that realistically something that might happen?
I think it will be the wrong move from Denmark. And the military size of the United States and the military size of Denmark, and even 70% of the budget and the military size of NATO is the American military. So Greenland is on the American continent, and it's a part of the Monroe Doctrine, which is a very geopolitical important area for the United States. There is a military airbase fixed base in northwest Greenland, which is an American base, and where they survey eventual incoming missiles from Russia.
Yep.
But the shipping routes are opening up, so the security concern is understandable, but the rhetoric from the United States is not understandable.
And in terms of protests, are we seeing a lot of that in Greenland presently?
No, but we saw some protests in, I think it was in January last year, after the elections, the inauguration in the US, and people saying that we are not for sale and so forth. But the rhetoric is changing up and down from the United States. Hence, the Art of the Deal book from Donald Trump is absolutely on its, they are using that right now. So I think what we need to do from Greenland is keep our heads cool and talk with the Americans directly and hear about what is their concerns, what's their interest, and also what is it that they want realistically, instead of nobody's going to annex Greenland. It's like people in Greenland will never accept a new annexation, which we are under right now from Denmark. And that's why the US is probably also questioning the right of the Kingdom of Denmark to keep Greenland.
Donald Trump wants to buy Greenland. That's a proposal which has been stated as well. Is that acceptable? Is your sovereignty up for sale?
No, it's not for sale, but right now we get a subsidy from Denmark, an annual subsidy, which is basically a purchase or rent of the island. So we also have to be, careful in regards to our own morals here. So I think in principle, no country should be on sale, but Greenland wants to be a sovereign state. We know we are a small population, a very big island, so we know that we can't be fully independent. But who is, in a way? We need to have allies, and those allies will still be, for example, the United States, NATO, Denmark, the European nations, and so forth, which are in our nearby vicinity allies.
Is there a growing willingness among people in Greenland, political leaders like you, that you do want to talk to America? You're not saying, I don't want to talk to you, please go away.
Of course, I would say that, in my opinion, I will always go the diplomatic way, because the only other way to do things is through military conflict. So we will, of course, go the diplomatic way. And that's also why I went to the inauguration in January last year to talk to the Americans, because the diplomatic way to talk to people is the best way to solve a eventual conflict coming up, or maybe if the Americans have some concerns in regards to their own security and national security and also international security, we have to address it so that we can amend eventually the defense agreement, which the United States have from 1951 with Denmark. But we amended it a little bit in 2004, where we decreased the possibilities of the Americans in Greenland. We might have to remedy that and look upon what is it their concerns are, and work for Greenland's independence, but in cooperation with the states that are interested in Greenland.
No, but as I understand it, and you were talking about the 1951-1952 agreement, America has the right to build more military facilities and bases in Greenland. Isn't that right?
Not absolutely. The 51 agreement says that it's a possibility with the consent of Denmark, but we made some amendments in 2004 that has limited the access to Greenland. And it also says that the only defense area the United States have is the fixed base. So we have to act upon what are the facts and read what are the agreements and the law. So we will have to adhere to that, so that people don't say things that the United States can do whatever they want. It's not true.
I understand, Greenland's identity, but is Greenland firmly with Denmark and Mette Frederiksen in this entire situation?
I will say from my party's side, we don't want to be de facto annexed by Denmark anymore. We don't want to be de facto a colony anymore. We want to be our own independent state with our own identity, with our own citizenship. And Greenlanders should own Greenland, not Denmark, and not the United States. So Mette Frederiksen has a moral problem, in my opinion, because Denmark is supposed to be a democratic country, but they still have a king. Their constitution is only about the king and king and king. Not even once democracy is mentioned. So what we need is that we are in 2026. They colonized us in 1721, and they denied us our Compact of Free Association in 2009. And now I think it's time for Denmark to reckon, or Greenland get some reckoning in regards to our rights as in international law to get into a sovereign state, but in cooperation with the US and also Denmark for that sake.
But Mr. Fenker, the timing of what you are stating now, it sort of comes at a time when America is making all these claims. Do you believe that this is the most opportune time for you to be in a situation where you get the sovereignty that you seek?
Absolutely, because with no urgency, no change is happening. We have seen that for over 300 years now. And now the opportunity of the urgency created by the United States is giving us the opportunity and gives us some negotiation leverage. And I can also say that I'm right here in Tórshavn in the Faroe Islands. And they told me that they will actually go to Denmark in January because they want to have an independent state too, because they can't be members of the WTO, World Trade Organization, or their handball team can't compete in the Olympics because they are not a sovereign state. So there are some issues here that are both in regards to our identity, but also our citizenship, our right to our own lands that needs to be reckoned.
Okay. And a final question to you. Do you represent a minority view in Greenland? Or do most Greenlanders feel that they don't want to talk to Donald Trump at all at this stage?
I think there has been a lot of panic because you can see the tactics of the United States is like they are saying one thing and another thing, and many politicians are saying things, and a lot of media has also fear-mongered about the United States and also painting them a enemy picture. So that is, in my opinion, wrong. I think we have to be diplomatic. I think the people of Greenland will understand at some point that we need to get out of our hiatus. We are not an ostrich hiding in the ground. We need to get our head up and also act like a sovereign state and talk to the states that are interested in us.
Mr. Fenker, you didn't answer my question. I was asking you, do you represent a majority view in Greenland?
I can't say, but I will say that I will do my utmost so that people understand.
All right. Kuno Fenker, MP from Greenland, thank you very much for speaking to us and sharing your views. Thanks very much indeed.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 70, India's only ultra-thin phone with 3x50 MP cameras. Grab Motorola Edge 70 today.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Master Stroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos this January on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do. And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude, we're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arur, NDTV.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions.
Expert advice. The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contest, the electric energy. Now, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am travels to Hyderabad, a day crafted for an unmatched experience. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 10th January 2026, Boulders Hills Golf and Country Club.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj and let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. Hours after ordering Censor Board to clear Jananayagan, Madras High Court Chief Justice puts Vijay's film release on hold. Jananayagan won't release before January 21 now. TVK likely to approach the Supreme Court. Mamata Banerjee declares war against the centre over ED raids at IPAC, says don't cross the Lakshman Rekha. Detention drama in Delhi after TMC MP's protest. ED claims Bengal Chief Minister forcibly took documents and digital devices herself during the raids. Maharashtra civic poll war brings the Pawar Parivar together. Supriya Sule and Ajit Pawar to unveil NCP manifesto in Pimpri Chinchwad tomorrow. India counters Trump's AIDS trade deal claim. Ministry of External Affairs says Howard Lutnick's version of trade talks is not correct. Iran Supreme Leader asked Trump to address problems within his own country first. This after the US President warned Tehran of severe consequences of crackdown on protesters continue. BJP and TMC fight on the streets of West Bengal intensifies, with the leader of opposition in West Bengal and BJP MLA Suvendu Adhikari now serving a legal notice to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee over allegations against Adhikari during her speeches. He also warned to file a defamation case if no response is received within 72 hours. Today, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, in a desperate attempt to divert attention from an ongoing ED investigation, made absolutely baseless defamatory allegations against me. That's what Mr. Suvendu Adhikari said in his post on social media at X, while stating that a legal notice has been sent to West Bengal Chief Minister. Listen into what exactly West Bengal Chief Minister said about Suvendu Adhikari.
বলছে কয়লার টাকা কে খায়? অমিত শাহ খায়, হোম মিনিস্টার। কি করে খায়? গদ্দারের থ্রুতে টাকা যায়। গদ্দার অ্যাডপ্টেড সন হয়ে গেছে। গদ্দারের থ্রুতে টাকা দেয়। সাথে আছে এক জগন্নাথ। জগন্নাথ ধামের জগন্নাথ নয়, পুরীর জগন্নাথ নয়, বড় ডাকাত জগন্নাথ বিজেপি। জগন্নাথের থ্রুতে টাকা যায় শুভেন্দু অধিকারীর কাছে, আর শুভেন্দু অধিকারীর থ্রুতে টাকা যায় অমিত শাহর কাছে।
And my colleague Shreyashi Day is joining me for more details. Shreyashi, the political war of words between the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and BJP is intensifying, with Didi first claiming that she has proof against the BJP that they are linked to coal scam, and now BJP directly trading an attack and daring Mamata Banerjee to reveal it.
Well, the ED raids here in West Bengal, allegations and counter-allegations have been flying between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress. Now, leader of the opposition and BJP MLA Shubhendu Adhikari has served a legal notice to the Chief Minister of West Bengal, saying that if she doesn't give supporting evidence to all the statements that she's been making regarding the alleged coal scam, where she has linked also BJP leaders, including Home Minister Amit Shah and Shubhendu Adhikari, to be beneficiaries of this illegal coal pilferage. Shubhendu Adhikari has given the Chief Minister 72 hours time, after which he has warned that he will be moving a criminal and civil defamation case against the West Bengal Chief Minister.
Absolutely. But Shreyashi, what exactly does the proof which TMC claims it has with it that links directly the BJP with the coal scam?
Well, we did hear the Chief Minister address the media yesterday outside the IPAC office in Kolkata, where she named Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Shubhendu Adhikari and BJP leader Jagannath Chattopadhyay, and said that they also have alleged links to the coal scam. Now, even in the earlier instances, we've seen the BJP dragging Trinamool Congress functionaries into this alleged coal scam that has been under investigation by both the CBI and ED since 2020 here in West Bengal. But the veracity of these charges, of course, only the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI can clarify on. Charge sheets have been filed by the CBI in this ongoing case, and the ED has now started investigations under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
Rightly so. Thank you so much, Shreyashi, for giving us all these details. The political battle between Karnataka and Kerala intensifies, with language row now brewing between the two southern states. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has written a letter to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan expressing serious reservations over the proposed Malayalam language bill. Remember, this bill seeks to mandate Malayalam as the compulsory first language even in Kannada medium schools, which the Congress party in Karnataka has objected to. And now Karnataka Chief Minister himself writing a letter to Kerala Chief Minister calling the bill unconstitutional and saying that if this bill is passed, then the Karnataka government will mull on any constitutional right they have to challenge it. My colleague Ritu is also joining with more details. Ritu, do tell us about what other allegations or maybe attacks have been trained by the Karnataka Chief Minister.
Well, as you rightly pointed out, you have Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah taking this forward, what that we've been saying post the Kerala government basically deciding to propose a bill over mandating Malayalam in the schools. Basically, now you have Karnataka Chief Minister saying that it is quite concerning matter as well for the linguistic minorities who reside in Kasargodu region. Now remember, he's also there in trying to highlight that majority of them remains to be Kannada-speaking people, and it is quite an unconstitutional move that the government has really planned it. And if the governor basically of Kerala should not give a green signal for this bill, which is quite concerning and also is a violation on those levels with various articles, is what has been stated by Karnataka Chief Minister. Now needs to be seen with elections approaching in the Kerala, whether it is purely a political stunt or else the Kerala government really means to do what they really want to do it, because there are more than 200 schools as well in this particular region which again studies Kannada as a main important language. How it is really going to take it forward, how the government is really going to take it forward, that remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Will we see a court battle between Karnataka and Kerala remains to be seen. Thank you so much, Ritu, for all these details. Shifting our focus to Maharashtra now, politics heats up ahead of the BMC elections. Uddhav Thackeray trains guns at BJP. Uddhav Thackeray says that BJP backstabbed UBT, the Shiv Sena of Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray further on goes on to say that he didn't leave Hindutva by uniting with Congress party. He also asked the double standard of the BJP. What about the BJP AIMIM poll packed in some places for the BMC elections? Listen in.
भाजपने पाठीत वार केला म्हणून काँग्रेस बरोबर गेलो होतो आणि मी काँग्रेस सोबत गेलो तर उद्धव ठाकरेंनी हिंदुत्व सोडलं मग भाजपने अकोटमध्ये MIM बरोबर युती केली.
And my colleague Abhishek Awasthi is joining me with more details. Abhishek, the political war of words between UBT and BJP intensified. Do tell us more about it.
Definitely, it was the first joint rally by both Thackeray brothers in Nasik for Nasik Municipal Corporation. But message from Uddhav Thackeray was loud and clear, attacking BJP, exposing the double standard, because we have seen BJP continuously attacking Uddhav Thackeray over the issue of Hindutva, that he has left Hindutva ideology when he joined Congress and made Mahavikas Aghadi, and today he got the point to attack BJP over the alliance that took place in Akot Municipal Council, where BJP has formed alliance with the AIMIM, and that's where the point where Uddhav Thackeray raised in the rally and questioned the Hindutva and reminded BJP that you always target me, then what about this alliance? So definitely the Hindutva ideology, the question time and again raised against Uddhav Thackeray. Now today he has backtracked the same question after this alliance with AIMIM of the BJP in Akot Municipal Council of.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Abhishek. The countdown is on for Battle for BMC. The Jan 15, all eyes will be on NDTV as we continue to track and break all the latest updates. Now, the Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has responded to social media criticism. Delhi Chief Minister, while speaking in Delhi Assembly, said, "They make fun of me as I am the woman Chief Minister. They make cheap comments on me." And in a very humble way, the Chief Minister said that anyone can make mistakes while speaking, hence one should not be targeted for it. Listen in.
मैं अध्यक्ष जी कहना चाहती हूँ, मैं, मेरे मंत्री, मेरे विधायक, हम सब लोग लगातार दिल्ली की सड़कों पे काम करते हुए दिखाई दे जाएंगे. लगातार दिल्ली की जनता की सेवा में हमें आप कार्यरत देख लेंगे, क्योंकि हमारी सरकार अकाउंटेबिलिटी की सरकार है. परंतु मुझे थोड़ी तकलीफ है. इन लोगों को 24/7 एक महिला मुख्यमंत्री काम करते हुए अच्छी नहीं लगती. उनको तकलीफ होती है, सहन नहीं होता. कभी वो सम्मान को ठेस पहुंचाने वाली कुछ बातें कहेंगे, फिर कभी घटिया कमेंट करेंगे, फिर बेबुनियाद इल्जाम लगाएंगे, फिर कभी शब्दों को पकड़ेंगे, कहेंगे AQI को AI क्यों बोल दिया. आज भी बोलेंगे कुछ. अभी मेरी पूरी स्पीच देखेंगे, उसमें से निकाल के लाएंगे. इनको अच्छा नहीं लगता. एक महिला वो राज्य चला रही है, दिल्ली जैसा, रोज इतने काम कर रही है.
Slipping into a very short break, don't go anywhere as we continue to track more latest details.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 70, India's only ultra-thin phone with 3x50 MP cameras. Grab Motorola Edge 70 today.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Master Stroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Other opposition parties. They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more.
US President Donald Trump has warned of severe consequences for Iran if authorities respond with violence against protesters following a surge of unrest across the country. Mr. Trump today threatened to take severe actions if Iranian authorities start killing people who are protesting, warning that Washington would hit them very hard. Trump had said this in an interview. The supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, has hit back at Trump, saying he should focus on his own country. On that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Do continue to watch NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 70, India's only ultra-thin phone with 3 into 50 MP cameras. Grab Motorola Edge 70 today.
Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. And in Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rug on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Master Stroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network. The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj and let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. Hours after ordering censor board to clear Jananayagan, Madras High Court Chief Justice puts Vijay's film release on hold. Jananayagan won't release before January 21 now. TVK likely to approach the Supreme Court. Mamata Banerjee declares war against the centre over ED raids at IPAC, says don't cross the Lakshman Rekha. Detention drama in Delhi after TMC MP's protest. ED claims Bengal Chief Minister forcibly took documents and digital devices herself during the raids. Maharashtra civic poll war brings the Pawar Parivar together. Supriya Sule and Ajit Pawar to unveil NCP manifesto in Pimpri Chinchwad tomorrow. India counters Trump's AIDS trade deal claim. Ministry of External Affairs says Howard Lutnick's version of trade talks is not correct. Iran Supreme Leader asked Trump to address problems within his own country first. This after the US President warned Tehran of severe consequences of crackdown on protesters continued.